What up, Bucs fans, NFL fans, and gambling fans? Welcome back to Pewter Picks and Props, brought to you by PewterReport.com. I'm your host, Matt Matera. We are in week 12 of this show. Had a week off last week because the Bucs were not playing, but because the Bucs are on, we are back and better than ever. So we're going to go over the Bucs game taking place this Sunday at MetLife Stadium against the New York Giants. And we'll get into college football and around the rest of the NFL too. So let's get right into it, starting with college football. Some really good games, including the number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes against the number 5 ranked Indiana Hoosiers. Probably the biggest game ever in the history of Indiana football. This game is at Ohio State. I'm taking Indiana plus 13.5 at Ohio State. I know everybody's saying that the Buckeyes are going to smoke the Hoosiers, but like I just said before, it's the biggest game in the history of Hoosiers football, and they've been steamrolling their opponents left and right. Yes, it's the toughest competition they're going to play this season, but you have a chance to get into the college football playoff with the win. You got to put everything on the line. I still think the Buckeyes win, but Indiana covers plus 13.5. Another big-time matchup that may have playoff implications if there is an upset. I don't think there's going to be an upset in this one. Taking Notre Dame minus 14.5 against Army. I love their armed forces. I thank all our military people for their service. I don't know if Army's going to be able to hang with Notre Dame in this game. As much as I don't like Notre Dame, they've really picked up the pieces after they choked and had the whole downfall against Northern Illinois a couple of months ago when Notre Dame was the home team. They've been smoking teams, blowing them out left and right. And I think that's going to continue against Army, who I don't know if they have the offense to keep up if Notre Dame gets a 2-score lead. So I think Notre Dame will continue doing what they're doing and cover this game minus 14.5. Third and final college football game taking place in the beautiful state of Florida. Over 55 in Ole Miss against Florida. So the Gators have had some really tough opponents. They went up against Georgia. They got smoked, annihilated by Texas. Florida plays a little bit better at home in the Swamp. Ole Miss still fighting for a playoff spot, trying to get into the SEC championship game as well. They cannot afford another loss. I think they only have 2 games left on the schedule, so they're going to try to get some style points, maybe try to win in a blowout. And because Florida's been all over the place, while I think they'll allow a lot of points against Ole Miss, they can also score some here and there as well. So over 55 is the pick as Ole Miss tries to pad their resume with their backs against the wall just a little bit. And Florida's just kind of crazy chaos playing college football. So we'll take that. Moving over to the NFL. Couple of favorites in this one. It's hard not to pick against, I should say it's hard. Yeah, it's hard not to pick against the Cowboys in this situation because the Cowboys get blown out every single game. And usually that's at home, but this one is in Washington. I'll take the Commanders minus 10. I know that's a lot of points, but the Cowboys have nothing on defense and even less on offense. The Cowboys suck. They're the worst team in the NFL at the moment. Cooper Rush is at quarterback. Yeah, you have Micah Parsons as an edge rusher. That's about it. Diggs at corner. The Cowboys will roll over and die pretty quickly in this one. So Commanders minus 10 is the pick. This next one I don't love, and I was going to take the underdog in this one, but I just can't. The Lions are too hot, so I have them minus 7.5 at the Colts. The Colts offense will not be able to hang tough with the Lions. I know the Colts defense can be stingy. Anthony Richardson, yeah, you did it against the Jets. Can you do it against the Lions? I don't necessarily think so. Sure, it's a road game for the Lions, but they're playing inside, which helps them even more. So the Lions have been steamrolling people left and right. You saw them score all those points against the Jaguars a week ago. Colts defense is good, not great. Anthony Richardson, kind of I'm not buying into his comeback performance against the Jets. So prove it against the Lions. I don't think they will. So the pick is Lions minus 7.5. This next one, call me crazy, but the Bears have been close in a lot of games. They covered last week against the Packers. They have another home game. I'm taking them plus 3.5 against the Vikings. If we learned anything from the Thursday night game where the Browns beat the Steelers is that divisional games are always close no matter what. Bears still have a pretty good defense. Sam Darnold struggles a lot more on the road than he does in Minnesota. But Bears offense hasn't found a little something. They had a nice drive at the end of the game, couldn't get the field goal, but they were able to drive the ball down the field. This one could be ugly. I mean, remember when the Vikings played the Jaguars in Jacksonville a couple weeks ago? That game was like 12-7. I guess I would have covered if this is this game against the Bears, but I don't know. I just have this weird feeling about the Bears, not necessarily saying they're going to win, but it's going to be another one where maybe they're winning, and then the Vikings come back late and either kick a field goal or score a touchdown and win by 2, or whatever the case may be. Bit of an odd one, but the Bears at home playing okay, not getting blown out or anything by any means. Their defense keeps them in it. Caleb Williams does a couple of things here and there, and the Bears end up covering plus 3.5, even though the Vikings are likely to win. Now, the moment we've been waiting for, Bucs versus Giants. Each team coming off of a bye. Giants made a huge quarterback change, going from Daniel Jones, who they actually just cut today on Friday as we're filming this, going with Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito. Bucs get Mike Evans back. That's huge. Getting Jamel Dean back. That's gigantic. So, with all of that said, I'm taking the Bucs -6 and the over 41.5. The over is hit, I believe, in the last 4 Giants games, and it's hit in a ton of Bucs games this year. It's hit at least 5 times. Didn't in their last game, but it hit 3 or 4 in a row before that. Bucs offense is going to be rolling even more with Mike Evans back. Might not have the crazy statistical game, but the Giants can't stop the run, so they're going to feed it with Bucky Irving, feed it with Rachaad White, maybe a little bit of Sean Tucker, and the passing game, which was still able to stay alive without Mike Evans and get Mike involved. Cade Otton continues to do his thing. That's why I like the over. Bucs -6. Here's the thing. Tom DeVito will light the crowd up a little bit. Hey, he's the local guy. How you doing? He's Italian, Sopranos connection there and everything like that. And what he did last season. But this season, haven't seen him yet. He's only had one game where he's thrown for over 200 passing yards. So even though as bad as the Bucs have been on defense, let's remember, they went up against Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, Lamar Jackson, some great quarterbacks. Tommy DeVito is not that. So this is a get-right game for the Bucs defense. You have Jamel Dean coming back. Injuries along the offensive line for the Giants. Maybe that pass rush gets going a little bit more. If the Bucs can score early and make it a 2-possession game, Tommy DeVito will not be able to throw his way back in for the Giants. So because of that, I like the Bucs -6 and the over 41.5. The Bucs want to go on a winning streak and get into the postseason again. They can't just win. They got to beat the crap out of some of these teams, and I think that might be the case for the Bucs over the Giants. So, player props. We're going to start with Baker Mayfield over 232.5 passing yards. I think the Bucs will actually run it early, but that will open everything else up. And the conversation all week has been explosive plays. They have to get explosive plays. It might not just be Mike Evans going down the field all the time, but you can find it in other ways. They have other speedsters. Look for some chunk plays for the Bucs against the Giants, and specifically Baker Mayfield slinging it, getting over 232.5 passing yards, which is not that crazy high up. Now, sticking with the passing game, but a little bit of a twist here, going Bucky Irving under 14.5 receiving yards. He hasn't gotten over this in the past 2 games, and Rachaad White is the catalyst. Okay, he's the guy that gets it done as a receiving running back. So maybe the Bucs try one screen with Bucky Irving, but they're not going to use him much on passing downs, especially if the Bucs build that lead. Bucky will be in to run, and then on third downs, Rachaad White will be in. So Bucky will have a big impact on this game. Just don't think it'll be in the passing game. Running the football on the other side, Tyrone Tracy's been a great addition for the Giants as a rookie running back. Had a couple of 100-yard games, but again, with the thought process of the Bucs will have a lead and the Giants will be forced to throw the football, that takes Tracy out of it. They won't be able to run it with them because they'll be down by so much. And even if the Giants keep it close, I trust the Bucs run defense to get some stops. I know they struggled against Derrick Henry, but that's Derrick Henry. I know they struggled against the 49ers. That's the 49ers. They were in the Super Bowl last year. They have a damn good running game. Same with the Chiefs. A little bit different here with the Giants. So under for Tyrone Tracy. 60.5 rushing yards. You knew I had to take a prop bet with Mike Evans returning. I don't know stat-wise with receiving yards what Mike is going to do, but they will get him involved one way or another. So Baker Mayfield's going to pepper Mike Evans. It might only be 5 yards down the field, might be 15, but they are going to get Mike Evans involved, okay? You can't bring him back, get him healthy, work through the bye to be ready to go, and then just not do anything in the game. Mike Evans, over 4.5 catches. I feel pretty good about this one. And I feel better, too. We'll see how much limitations they put on Mike for this game to keep him healthy for the rest of the season. But you can be damn sure that Mike Evans will be in there when the Bucs are in the red zone. There's no better red zone target in the league than Mike Evans. So I will take a Mike Evans touchdown. That's at plus 140 if he reaches the end zone. He already has 6 touchdowns, even though he missed the last 3 games. Nobody else that Baker's going to be looking for more than Mike Evans in the red zone. So he is my touchdown prop this week. Hope that I get it. Haven't been the best with the touchdown props. So Mike Evans is going to get me back on track. So those are all my picks for this week. 3 in college football, 3 in the NFL, and then, of course, the Bucs game with several player props as well. Props have been looking pretty good so far over the last couple of Bucs games. Let's keep it going, keep the momentum rolling, and hopefully the Bucs can get on a winning streak as well. So that's going to do it for me on today's show. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Really appreciate it. Tell your friends about the show as well, whether you like my picks or if you fade my picks. That's quite all right as long as you're watching. You can follow me at Matty4_Matera. My Instagram is at Matty_Matera, so just take out the 4. And you can follow all of my work over on PewterReport.com as well. So thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. Have a great weekend, and let's win some money. Out.